right, we are closing out. We have two speakers. They are in their second year of OU Law School, Shelby Kohler and Alyssa Amundsen. If they are currently passionate about upholding the Constitution and preserving freedom, and Alyssa even plans to run for governor one day, and I want them to come and share what they're doing.
My name is Shelby Kohler. I'm here with my classmate and friend, Alyssa Amundsen.
Scoot up further.
Oh, sorry. We are both here today to update everybody on the mask mandates at OU Law School that they're currently in place. They are very much against SB 658, but they are nonetheless being enforced very, very strictly at the law school currently. Alyssa and I both at the beginning of this semester declined a mask, and we very politely sent our professors and deans an email notifying them of this. We weren't met with a response, and so when we showed up on the first day of school, we were met with a number of responses from our professors. I was physically precluded and blocked from the doorway, and I was not allowed to enter in one of my professors' classrooms. Alyssa has a little bit more she'll share about that later too, but we immediately recognized that we would need to meet with the deans and to discuss this at a higher level, and we did. And at that meeting, we were told that we not only were not going to be provided accommodations regardless of our medical exemptions, but we also weren't going to be given any other options, even though the mandate very much violates SB 658. And so we are here to just update a little bit on that progress. We were turned away from that meeting with the deans and the associate deans with no answers or options or any help. And so we decided to take things into our own hands. We reached out to local news organizations. We gave interviews to the Daily Caller with Turning Point USA. And we are speaking up against those who are sacrificing individual choice and freedom for the illusion of safety. We're speaking out to protect not only our rights, but the rights of every American, and we're speaking out because we believe that the Constitution, our country, and our democracy are more important than lowered grades and the approval of spineless and short-sighted academics. Critics...
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Critics have jeered that they hope our decision to speak out follows us and affects our careers later, and I would like to let them know that I hope that it does. Thank you. Alyssa.
So after no response to our email, I went ahead and walked into class with no mask. I was the only person besides Shelby in the building with no mask on. I was one of the first people in my classroom. I sat down. My professor strategically waited until the classroom was full to call me out by name and ask me if I would mask. I said, no, I will not mask. And he said, then I'm going to report you to the dean. And I said, I don't know if you saw my email, but she was also on that email, so she is aware. I said, I don't mind Zooming, I don't mind sitting in the back corner, but I am not going to wear a mask. And he looked at me and said, Zoom is not an option. So in our meeting with the deans, they basically first deferred to university policy and said, we're going to follow this. Then it became about professor autonomy and that they can put whatever they want in their syllabus, and we have to abide by it. So we basically were forced to professor shop and drop classes that we needed to take to find a professor that would let us in. I did have a couple professors that were going to let me come to class until the dean went to them and said, you are not allowed to let them into class. I know. Needless to say, I sent a follow-up email to some professors that wouldn't let me in and said, you know, I just want to reach out one more time and see if there's something we can do to make this work so I can get my education. He said, if you're going to take a principled stand, you better be prepared to face the consequences. So here I am, facing the consequences. I did drop that class because in the end, the professor is allowed to adjust your grade accordingly. I figured that wouldn't go well for me. The irony in this whole situation is I'm in school to uphold the law, to preserve justice and freedom, and they're enforcing this, taking away our rights. I want to hold the law school accountable, and I'm asking the legislators that have not stood up to stand up. This is a cry for help. Your citizens are struggling. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Parents, that's the kind of children we need to be raising, right?